March Madness Sweet 16, go Virginia. I've got Danny from The Fan here. He's my expert. Okay, we got Thursday and Friday. Tell us what's up.
That's right. There's been a lot that's happened now over the last week or so. We're going to kick the action back up tomorrow night, Thursday, the Sweet 16. We'll play that on Friday night as well. Then you get the Elite Eight coming up over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. But just to kind of give you a recap of what happened last weekend, because when the tournament started, we had 5 teams from the state of Virginia in the tournament. Now we're down to just 2. So some
it's
of
still great, though.
It is, and some of the matchups involved 2 Virginia teams playing against one another. So just to run back through some of the results, Old Dominion, they lost to Purdue. The Boilermakers kind of handled them in that game. It wasn't exactly close. Virginia was the 1 seed, and they fell behind against a Gardner-Webb squad. Ended up having to come back and win that game. Had some shades of what happened to them last year, being the first 1 seed to fall to a 16. But they weathered the storm. They came back. They handily won their first game, and then they went up against Oklahoma. And that was a game. They didn't play particularly well, but they also ended up with a significant win over the Sooners, a game that they weren't ever really in trouble of losing. So Virginia moved on to the Sweet 16. Now Virginia Tech, they had to beat a St. Louis team, the A-10 champions, a team that VCU had to play earlier in the year and had to beat them at the Siegel Center. It was a very rough and tumble type game. So Virginia Tech got by St. Louis, a game that they could see a little bit of jitters because they were looking for their first NCAA tournament win under Buzz Williams. They got it done. That set up a matchup with the Liberty Flames, and this is where you had 2 teams from the state of Virginia going up against one another. Liberty got a win over Mississippi State in the first round, a 12-5 upset, so the Flames were jacked up for a chance to play Virginia Tech to come back to Washington, D.C., the Sweet 16. Liberty came out in the first half of the second round. They led Virginia Tech, but then the Hokies really turned it on and ended up beating Liberty to dispatch the Flames from the tournament this year. So the Hokies moved on to the Sweet 16. My Hokies, right? My alma mater. Virginia Tech is going to the Sweet 16. It's the first time in school history since the tournament expanded that Virginia Tech goes to the Sweet 16.
I
so
love it.
I'm going up to Washington, D.C. on Friday night to watch that. I'll give you some more information on the matchup here in just a second. But the team Virginia Tech is going to play is the number 1 overall seed, which would be the Duke Blue Devils, led by Zion Williamson. Zion, everybody can't stop talking about Zion. Some people are tired of talking about Zion, though, because he's been getting so much exposure, but he's the real deal. He's earned all of that hype. He's playing like a 2. So it's going to be Virginia Tech and Duke. There's going to be a lot of Hokies in Washington, D.C. on Friday.
Hokies.
But Duke travels well. They've got a nationwide fan base, so expect there to be a lot of Blue Devils. Duke escaped UCF in the second round, which is the team that beat VCU in the first round. UCF was an inch, I'm not kidding you, an inch away from beating Duke. If one of their tip-ins at the end of the game had gone in, Duke wouldn't even be playing anymore. Wow. So the fact that they're there is incredible, and VCU certainly should have nothing to hold their heads about. They got bounced in the first round, but they lost to a very good team. So the 2 games to keep your eye on this weekend in the Sweet 16. Number 1 seed Virginia, they're going to play 12 seed Oregon. That game's going to be out in Louisville, Kentucky. 9:59 tip-off Thursday night. So again, get your coffee, make sure you're ready to go, because it's going to be a late night. Same thing goes for Friday night when we go up to Washington, D.C. I'm going to be covering the game, so make sure if you want to...
We'll be looking for you.
Exactly. If you want any sort of coverage for Virginia Tech, thefanrichmond.com. Check out our Facebook page as well, our Twitter at 910thefan. I'll be there posting pictures. Don't have the credential to get down onto the floor because it was tough to get, but I'm going to be in the building. I've got a ticket. We'll have the coverage for you. So UVA, Oregon, 9:59 Thursday night. Duke and Virginia Tech from Washington, D.C., 9:39 on Friday night.
Well,
it's going to be fun.
The Virginia teams have all done so well, and Liberty should be very proud.
Yes, Liberty should be proud. Old Dominion should be proud. VCU should be proud. All 3 of those teams went home, but all 3 have a bright future in front of them. They had great seasons, and they've got great coaches leading their program as well. So
we expect good things from you for Virginia Tech.
I'm expecting big things as well. And remember, Danny Noakes, Sports Radio 910 The Fan. I work for Wes McElroy's show. I'm the producer. Weekdays, 3 to 6 p.m., 9:10 a.m. Whenever you're not listening to Mix 98.1, my girl Kat, Zach, Jay, they're all here. They do a great job. Thank you guys so much. It's been a pleasure.
It's our pleasure. And hey, is the Fan going to carry the games?
Yes, the Fan will be carrying the games. That's a great call, Kat.
Okay.
We will have both the Virginia and the Virginia Tech games, which is not normally what happens during the season, but we'll have UVA on 910 The Fan Thursday night, and then Tech on Friday night.
All right, Sweet 16 March Madness. Now I know what's going on, and you do too.